then maybe you add...
Easy, Capalbs. Easy.
Let him dream. Hey, Alex Cora spoke during the game about their commitment to this guy. Rafael Devers, the bottom of the seventh. Sends it to right field, 24 on the season. And your final is 6-1. Boston gets a day of rest before getting the Braves for 2 starting on Tuesday.
They had Rafi mic'd up last night. That was
Postseason picture, yeah, looks like this. Hey, pick your 2 division.
Why do we love Boston
matchups.
and think the Yankees and Angels are dead, and they're basically the same?
Yeah. Yeah, why are we talking about the Angels trading Shohei Ohtani?
It's just the way it goes. Storylines. It's about expectations, really, because the Red Sox went in with very little expectations. Why?
True.
Because we said they were going to make, or they did make, small, under-the-radar moves.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. And those under-the-radar moves have them on the cusp of a playoff spot.
And if they get Story back, they get Sale back, they get Whitlock back, you could start to dream. They get in, they're a problem.
Offensively,
it goes to show you, right? You can't just amass talent, throw it out on the field. There has to be some form of chemistry. And I feel like Alex Cora does a great job of giving everybody roles. They've also had a couple young guys step up. Jarren Duran has stepped up huge for this team. Tristan Casas is starting to put together good ABs. So we questioned Chaim Bloom originally because it's like, hey, the whole I'm coming from Tampa, but I have Big Glue in Boston, but I'm going to treat it still like Tampa, and we don't know if we love that. The last time I ran into him was during the winter meetings. I saw him in the gym. He was getting after it. So I said, Capalbo said, maybe he's starting to put together some building blocks to the future.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the year and you can start to imagine a little bit.
Right.
Did he open a gym in Fenway? The Legion of Bloom?
The Legion of Bloom.
Look, he looks like it right there. Dodgeball, Ben Stiller. Okay, who's on the dumbbell press? Masataka Yoshida. He has been bench pressing all year long. This guy's been really good. 315 batting average, a 376 on base. There he is in the dugout. Have you locked in on Durant?
Excuse me?
I might be doing him a disservice with that picture.
Would you stop?
I'm not kidding. This guy is top 5 bodies in the entire sport. He has been awesome for this team in the leadoff slot. 424 with 3 homers, a 1240 OPS over his last 19 games. You got to put the catcher on the squat rack because he's got to get behind the dish and squat down. Connor Wong's been really good for this team. He's hitting 390 over his last 12 games. He's tied for 7th among catchers with 7 defensive runs saved. So he's been doing his job.
Deal.
11 years, 300 million. He's bench pressing the entire organization. We haven't really dove in and given Devers the love. He's got 24 homers, 74 RBIs, 525 slug, and what does every rotation need? Solid core. They need that ace at the top of the rotation. It looks like Brian Bayo's going to be that guy. He's got a 3.05 ERA over his last 14 starts. Been really good. And if you want to mix in a little yoga and earthing in the backroom studio, Tristan Casas is your guy. This is the first time he showed up. I'm sure he's tired of seeing this, but man, he has found his power chord. He's hitting 348 with 7 bombs, 17 RBIs, and north of 1,000 OPS over his last 28 games. And if you want to dream, maybe on the lat pull down, Trevor Story pulled a homer in the minor league rehab assignment. He might be on his way back. So the Legion of Bloom opened in Fenway. Do we have a board of Casas on the back end of this? OPS leader since the start of June 13th.
Interesting.
Tucker, Olsen, Casas. Corey Seager and Ronald Acuna Jr. So they're a good watch. And I'll say this, flying on a Sunday night, I go back and forth with the ESPN call and the K-Rod cast. They had Johnny Damon on. Johnny, I ran into him in the Bahamas recently. I was laughing out loud in my seat. He was awesome to listen to.
Chaim Bloom
He's got 8 kids.
What?
Wow.
8.
That's a lot.
What? I was like, what?
Good for him.
Chaim Bloom said they're in a much better position at this time than this time last year because they're developing a core and you can start to see it.
Well, they're going to get another test on Tuesday. They're off today, but Tuesday they will welcome the Atlanta Braves to Fenway, so that should be an interesting series.
Yeah, that kind of lets you know where you're at.
Absolutely. Let's go to St. Petersburg for the O's and the Rays. This is a series I wish I was at. 4 games of excitement, playoff atmosphere. Adley Rutschman at the plate. That's an RBI double. Orioles take a 1-0 lead. Second inning. Gunnar Henderson. Gunnar Henderson struggled mightily to start the season, and there's thoughts, okay, maybe you sent him down. No, he's just going to figure it out at the major
now he
league
looks
level.
like one of the best players in the sport.
446 feet. Orioles have a 3-0 lead. Here come the Rays. Rays were trying to get the series split yesterday. Yandy Diaz. They don't have a hit. They do have a runner at first. Now they have a hit. Now they have a 2-run homer. First hit of the game against Tyler Wells, and the Rays tie it at 3 in the 6th. Ryan O'Hearn just absolutely crushes that one off the foul pole, left on left. This is the guy that primarily is in there against righties. But the O's come back and they take a 4-3 lead in the 9th. Felix Bautista facing Wander Franco, 2 outs. Could you imagine this dude coming at you off the mound? Yeah, he gone. Orioles win 5-3. They take 3 of 4, now hold a season-high 2-game lead on the division. Bautista has an ERA below 1 and almost a 51% strikeout rate.
From Tropicana Field to the good land, Milwaukee for Braves and Brewers. And Travis d'Arnaud, love this dude. Top of the 2nd, just signed a 1-year contract extension to stay in Atlanta through the duration of next season. Just over the glove of Sal Frelick in right field, and it's 1-0 Braves early on. Atlanta on the board first, but for the tie in the bottom of the 3rd, Bryce Terang leading off, going off. Against Bryce Elder, a solo shot to deep right field. That's 4 on the year. 4 memorable ones, by the way. Slide down the slide, and the Brewers tie it at 1. Owen Miller enter in the bottom of the 4th. Friend of the show, drive in a run. This is a big one. Runners at the corners, 1-1 tie. Lines out hard to deep right center. A sac fly for him, and the Brewers take the lead. Julio Teheran facing his former team. They know him well. 9 seasons with Atlanta, 2-time All-Star there. 6 innings, 1 run, 3 hits.
I think Julio Teheran's got the most opening day starts for an Atlanta Braves.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Top of the 8th, Ozzie Albies facing Elvis Peguero with runners on 1st and 2nd. A 3-run shot to left center field, a game-winning homer for him. 23rd on the season, breaking a 29-inning scoreless streak for the Brewers bullpen. Longest for the franchise since 1972. That'll do it. Braves win it 4-2.
Yeah, they are 30 games above 500. The Atlanta Braves are so good. They're definitely going to win the division. And seemingly, it seems like the NL playoffs will go through Cobb County as you take a look at your postseason picture. Now, what kind of impact could a young player like Sal Frelick have on not only the division race for his Brewers, but the National League playoff picture? We're going to talk about Frelick in just a second, but here's the memorable moment of when he found out he was being called up to the big leagues. Check this out.